Katie,
I don't have much. I just, obviously July 1st, several new laws came into effect. The league sent out the Open Meetings Act changes, so I wanted you guys to have that. It's very subtle, but it appears that they want some more detail when we make those motions and put that in our minutes. So I gave you their sample there. The only other one I guess that I'll mention right now, seatbelt fines are going up to $30 rather than $10, but that actually will not go into effect for our city until we get our new STO books, which are on order. So probably our next meeting in July, we should have them hopefully, and we can not have $30 fines. That's not a big thing. We don't cite for that a ton here in town, but that is a statewide thing, $30. Other than that, I think that's all I have for tonight. Dave and I are working on getting rid of some abandoned vehicles. It's quite a process, unfortunately, so we're doing that. Vehicles that just were not forfeited through district court and are sitting there and need to be disposed of, so we're working through that. So if you see advertisements in the paper or something, that's why.
So these non-tagged then, they were like expired, they're tagged, okay.
Yeah, either owners are gone for whatever reason, and yeah, so we'll have to go through that process. So other than that, that's all I have.
Thank you. Mr. Rady?
yes.
Present.
Hey, out of order. Okay, so I'll kind of go through my list here really quick, but probably the first one, probably the most important, obviously, for me anyways right now, is KDHE. We went and met with them in Topeka here on Friday. A meeting was at 10 o'clock, so Stuart and I and Jim Benz, and we met John Brummer over there to kind of sit down and go through our latest review comments. As you remember, kind of back to the whole tale, we had that submission in January. Finally, the first one of June, we got some review comments back. The engineers felt like it was at least more tangible, like stuff we could work through, and part of what we asked, commitment from KDG in our April meeting with them and from the EPA was that, hey, the next time, if it's not ticky-tack stuff, can we get together and get in a room and kind of hammer it out, because otherwise you just be going back and forth for eons on this stuff. So they did oblige that and let us meet with them again to kind of go through those review comments with them, and kind of the big takeaway to kind of set the table is probably better understand the kind of the environment or the dynamics right now. Obviously, I told you before that they're understaffed, and that is true. That's still a true statement. But part of it is everybody is so scared because of Flint, Michigan. So everything that happened there, you know, the EPA is breathing down all of the local environmental agencies in the states. And so they are obviously wanting to make sure every T is crossed and I is dotted, because as the engineer that was, you know, this Dan Clare individual was stating there, you know, he doesn't want to be in the paper for it. He kept stating, you know, I don't want to go on the stand for this, or, you know, so everything is by the book, by the book, by the book, and that's what he kept saying. And I understand where he's coming from, but however, it's tough when you have new laws that fit your, you know, 40, 50, so however old your plant is sometimes, you know, it gets to be tough to get everything to be just perfect. So they are extremely apprehensive and are really, you know, it was frustrating because we would, you know, run into a little bit of a roadblock at the meeting, you know, trying to say how we're going to solve X, Y, Z problem. And we'd kind of say, hey, well, if we try this, can we do that? And they, oh, that's kind of Flint, Michigan-y. That's kind of Flint, Michigan. You're trying to work it. You're trying to, you know, you kept kind of saying that to us. And so I finally kind of stopped and I was like, first of all, no, we're not. We're not, it's not even close to the same situation here. And then secondly, you know, we're just trying to think of solutions to fit, you know, to make our plant fit the current laws and the current things. So his boss kind of thankfully slowed him down a little bit. And yeah,
KDHE is the one that was doing this meeting? EPA wasn't even.
EPA wasn't there, but well, because the EPA, especially on this, the TTHM, if you remember, the EPA is the one doing the consent order. So
Yeah.
his way he said it to me is when he writes his approval letter and even the review document, he's writing it as if he's talking to EPA. So that's why he's being extremely technical, extremely by the book. The vibe I get from EPA is they're more just like, get it fixed, you know, but he just has this other thing in his mind. So we had some issues there, and we really came to one roadblock where it sounded like it was just gonna put it all away, and to really simplify it, the calculation requires that one filter. If you don't run the filters all the time, 100% of the time, you can only, let's say you have 3 filters, you only take credit for 2. So for 10 minutes out of a week, we backwash at one of the filters, okay? So because of that, we can only count to have 2 filters. So the best way to put that is, let's say we're putting 3,000 gallons of water through those 3 filters, so that's 1,000 gallons per filter. Well, now that we can only count 2 filters, now it's 1,500 gallons per filter, even though it's only for 10 minutes out of the week. So that's how we have to calculate all that, and it only gives you so much chlorine contact time credit. And so he was like, he kind of pinned us on that. We were kind of being big, like all the time, like, well, it is 10 minutes out of the week. So, you do those calculations, even though it dilutes it all and all that crazy stuff.
So you have to count that every time you backwash a filter?
That is your
Take
low
it out of
point.
service for
Well,
a period of time.
And so so we were talking about, hey, can we do this or that? And that's when he kept saying, well, that's Flint, Michigan, and this. So then thankfully, it was like to the point where it was just like, what in the world? So thankfully Stuart was like, well, how about we just, if we shut the plant down, say, hey, we produce water for so long, and then it's our procedure then to shut the plant down, which, we do anyways. And then we go into our backwash procedure. We don't produce any water. We dump that or we recirculate or whatever. And then we turn the plant back on the next day and it's ready to go. And then he was like, oh, well, that'll work. That should, it's just, they're not going to provide us any solutions. Like, we had to kind of guess what they're doing. So I was really glad we were there because we were able to get to this stuff. Because that's something right there. I mean, we could have blown it up 4 different ways over the next few months. So we had to come up with what I told him was like, so we just put an SOP together, just saying, it's a paragraph or 2 that addends our current SOP for that, just saying, hey, from, this, on Fridays at 4:30, we shut the plant down and backwash for half an hour or whatever it is. He's like, yeah, that'd be fine. So it's just, it's stuff like that is just really, really crazy. So, so I talked to him a little bit about that some more, and so then he stated that, he doesn't want any more submittals, but he wants us to keep submitting it in rough form. And so we got these about 6 issues that he kind of wants to say, hey, incorporate that into the document, keep submitting it to me rough ways, and that way I can look through it, make sure it's going to work, because then he just wants a 6th and final submittal so he can give us our letter of approval. So I don't know, that's what we got to work through now, but I felt like we at least got those 6 issues and any sticky points, especially on the filter thing, like that could have gone back and forth. There was, there's like volume of the clear well that they're really a little concerned with. They don't want to just know the volume of it. They want all the pipes and the pumps and the columns taken back out of that to really calculate the net volume. So I mean, there's just a lot of technical stuff that thankfully we're able to get him in the room and really try to figure out exactly what he wants with that. So that meeting went for about 2 hours. In the last 10 minutes or so, we talked a little bit about the waste stream summary review. That's really going to dictate, kind of keep that other football moving along with that, that plant, whatever the option is that we go with. And so he said that he doesn't want to do any sort of a formal review on that waste stream summary review. First of all, they're terribly backlogged, and so he doesn't want to enter a new one in, especially when we already have something going. So he said, hey, here's what we're looking at. So he's like, so it sounds like you guys just kind of want to know for estimating and also to boil down what the actual options are. Maybe you're looking at 4 or 5 or 6, so you kind of want to get down to the 2 or 3 obvious ones because it might be dictated by the waste stream or something. And we're like, yeah. He's like, well, then basically you just need to put together an informal waste stream summary review. So you put it into a matrix, all the different options, and you lay them all out, how it's all going to work, and then he can kind of say, yeah, on this one you're going to need this type of thing. He can kind of check them off, because he wants to make sure that we don't get surprised when we actually put in for the formal one or put in for the the application of the permit to build the plant, that we're not rejected by the waste stream summary or waste stream committee or whatever's out there, I guess. So
That guy in charge of that too?
yeah. Yeah.
He's a busy guy.
He's a busy guy. It is, yeah. It's, so yeah, I thought it was a good meeting. He again, great engineer speak, so he, kind of was getting into that. He was, harp on us for doing the 3 filter thing, and it's like that wasn't even right. Like, well, who approved that? And his boss kind of, she kind of kept smoothing things over. So I was glad she was there. I feel like we've got good rapport with her on this, and I think it's just, that's who she has to work with and use, unfortunately. So, So anyways, glad we went there. I think it was a good 2 hours, well spent. We really got it, well boiled down to. We had a good meeting the week before to kind of really understand, so I could understand kind of the questions that John and Stuart were gonna be asking to get these review comments knocked out. So, I guess we'll see what comes of it, but like a bulldog with a ball, I'm not gonna keep quit with it. So I'll keep going there if I have to, but it's pretty sad that that's what you gotta do.
Yeah,
But any questions from that at all?
my biggest concern is the fact that our January 17th submission was returned with comments in June.
Yeah.
I don't want to see us going 5 months between us submitting things and getting responses, because we will never get anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I don't think anybody's getting anywhere.
No. Well, and that's why.
We're not the only town, no doubt.
No,
Yeah.
it's statewide, yeah, and it's definitely not us. It's basically the thing I see is, that's why, especially the last time we met with them in April, we hadn't gotten comments back. I really pinned them down on wanting to meet with them, because exactly right, I don't want to get review comments and have to submit and be in la land until he gets to us in the pipeline again. So, to me, I was like, I want this to be able to be, let's really get a grasp on what exactly you're looking for, so that we can respond back and be pretty assured that we've got it pretty well figured out. So, yeah, it was, yeah.
So you found out basically that he doesn't know what he's looking for.
Yeah, I basically found out that he's scared to death of the EPA. That's what it is. You can't make a decision. So, I think that's why I kind of kept sitting there and sitting
Well,
there.
is it that he can't, or maybe he's a little apprehensive?
That's probably what it is. Yeah, he's just fearful, yeah. I mean, it was one point, yeah, at one point, one thing we keep asking for in the review comments, as part of this calculation is getting credit for, well, you probably know the term, I can't think of it all of a sudden, but for it to go into some sort of a well, I can't remember what it is, but basically you get credit for it. If it's like pipe to pipe, it would be a 0.1, okay? If it goes through this basin and has a partition in it, there's no baffles before the outlet or in the inlet, then it's 0.3. If it has the same partition but a baffle in either the inlet or the outlet, because the water's got to snake around more, then you get a 0.5. So basically more mixing credit, if you will, okay? And so he described all this to us, and he's like, so, 0.1 pipe to pipe, and he goes, and I think, 0.5 would be if it's got this partition, and baffles or whatever. So basically, he had it one level off. So he was saying, I don't think I can quite give you guys a 0.3. Well, John just happened to have the guidelines. I kind of could be reading it through, and John kind of told me about it because we went through all the points. So I was prepared, and I noticed that point, and I was like, John, get it to me. So I got it from him, and he was off a level. And this is the guidance he had put out. And I was like, Dan, I think what you just described, you're off one, so we should be at a 0.3. I was like, you just described that if we had X, Y, Z, we would be, a 0.5, and so we're really one thing away from having a 0.5, and we actually have a 0.3. He's like, oh, he's like, let me get to my office so I can get the CFR. So he came back in, and he was kind of like, okay, I think you could probably be a 0.3. And I was like, well, yeah, because you described it exactly how it was. You were just off the wrong level. I didn't describe it very well, but yeah, it was really interesting. I kind of caught him on that because it was just like, thankfully he described it, but he was describing a 0.3 when he was actually describing a 0.5. So we've been given a 0.2. He's not even on the table. So our plan's been a 0.2 this whole time, and it's not even on the table. So I was like, either we're a 0.1 or a 0.3. And you just described what we had, and before we all looked at it, and we're at 0.3, Dan, and he was like, well, let me look at the actual regulation and get back with you on that. That was the guidance I put out, so sometimes that's a little bit, I was like, whatever, dude. So,
How's number 2 coming to third, Steve?
well, supposedly, according to Stewart, they've got it kind of to the point where there's a little bit of confusion on that, because supposedly they got an order, but I don't know if they've entered into it, because their testing has just been borderline enough where they haven't had to, they're right on the bitter edge of being underneath the requirement to have to report, so, or have to be out of compliance, so, yeah.
Well, it'll be interesting, that'll affect us down the road.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah. We've shared all this with the EPA, they know exactly where we're at, so I think they're monitoring the situation, because to them, I think exactly to Andrew's point, that's very extremely slow response time. And we even document, it's in our consent order. We document every contact we had with them and how we try to push this along, and it's like, we were being aggressive and we're aggressive at this meeting on Friday, and hopefully it'll pay off for us, finally, so. Little Red Schoolhouse, so I kind of put in my report, and if you remember last time, kind of talked about how we want to get that out to the people so they can kind of give us some viable options. So I did meet with Terry Bailey to kind of at least get an article going, we went on the right one, so it worked out. So we kind of talked about it, so we'll hopefully that'll be coming out here, and they might get some feedback or some input or some people calling in, so just so you know that. But I still kind of want to put out either on Facebook or whatever, at least some sort of a, just basic parameters, you know, what we're looking for when you submit some sort of a plan or whatever it is to get that building. So kind of want to let you know that's still getting pushed along. East Main, you know, a hope was that they're going to have phase 2 done, which they did the main line pouring. They got some of the intersections poured, but they didn't get their curb machine here like we thought they did and thought they would, and get that done here before the July 4th weekend. So as you remember, their agreed upon substantial completion date was July 21st. So Stuart sent them they kind of told us the last 10 days, in fact I think it was in my last report too, that hey, this is what's going to happen, and they come in with a curved machine and have it all done, you know, hopefully before the July 4th, and they could get that last phase done. Well, then all of a sudden they said, oh, we don't have enough people, and the machine broke down and all this stuff. So we wrote them